Greetings. Welcome to this week's picks, the confidence picks here on the Michigan podcast, Bigger 10 channel. I'm Steve Deace alongside my co-host and absolutely never partner, Aaron McIntyre. Aaron, we are, and it's depressing.
I know.
But we are careening almost to the halfway point of the season already, if you can believe it. Do you have an update on where things stand in our little competition so far?
I built on my lead over you last week. You correctly picked Ohio State, Penn State, Maryland, Michigan, and Nebraska. We both got the same games wrong because we both had the same picks, but I just had them in a different position than you did. I got the same games right. I just had Minnesota over Purdue with less confidence than you did. I had that at a 3, you had it at a 5. Wisconsin over Illinois had a 2, you had it at a 4. So that means I built, I think, another 4 or 5 points on you this last weekend, bringing the total 301 to 289 through 5 weeks now.
Now, the rest of October, we are heavily into bye season, right? So we're going to have a lot of short cards, and that can create a lot of variance or a lot of, stagnation with not as many games. So we shall see. This week, we only have 6, so let us begin. My 6-point game this week, Michigan over Indiana. Michigan has lost to the Hoosiers one time since 1967. Number 2 will not be on Saturday. My 5-point game is Ohio State over Michigan State. I applaud Mel Tucker for begging Sparty fans to not sell their tickets, but brother, it's a rough economy out there, and those Buckeyes pay well, and your team's not playing well. So get used to and ready to see a lot of scarlet and gray at Spartan Stadium. My 4-point game, I'm going to take Wisconsin over Northwestern, more of a fate of Northwestern, and I do think that there will be some juice in the tank here for Jim Leonard to get him off to a good start. For 3 points, I'm going to go with Maryland over Purdue. If I had to do over again, I think I'd probably switch these 2 games because I like Maryland quite a bit actually in this game. I think Maryland's going to finish like 8-4, 9-3. I think Maryland's offensive line is probably the best in the Big Ten East outside of Ann Arbor and Columbus. I love their skill talent, and they're not making a bunch of dumb mistakes like we've seen in the past. My 2-point game, I'm going to go with Illinois over Iowa. Total coin flip here. I could see this game. Iowa's in a desperate situation for a W. So I would normally pick Iowa here, but I like teams that also come home after getting big wins on the road. But given the nature of that big win on the road and all the hype about it, you wonder if maybe Illinois might have a flat spot here against Iowa. You can see by me putting only 2 points on it, I think this game is a literal coin flip, and the point spread reflects that. Speaking of which, Rutgers over Nebraska, who the hell knows? I mean, I have no idea. I don't think Rutgers is that physically talented. I don't think Nebraska is that mentally tough. I have no idea which of these 2 teams shows up on Saturday. I guess I'll give a 1-point vote of confidence to Greg Schiano over Mickey Joseph, the interim coach in Lincoln. And that's the point spread in this game, by the way. No, I'm sorry. It's a pick'em. It's not even a 1 point.
Yep.
It's a pick'em between Rutgers and Nebraska. So there you go.
All right. So we have some different selections this week. I've got Ohio State over Michigan State at my 6th spot. I just don't see a path for Michigan State to stay in this game or threaten Ohio State. 5, I've got Michigan over Indiana. Indiana, I think, has been an underrated bad team, meaning...
Good way of putting it.
I think that...
Worse than their record.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Maybe here's a word for it. Overrated based on their record. That's maybe a better way of saying it. Number 4, I've got actually Purdue over Maryland. And I've got more confidence in Purdue over Maryland than you have in Maryland over Purdue. So that's going to be a big swing.
Yeah.
Number 3, I've got Rutgers over Nebraska. Also could be a 4-point swing here.
I'm rooting to lose that game.
Actually,
is what you're telling me.
No, you've got Rutgers over Nebraska as well. I just forgot about that. So yes, so Rutgers over Nebraska. I'm pretty confident in Rutgers' ability. I think if you have anything approaching physical discipline or mental discipline, you have a pretty good chance to beat Nebraska. At the 2 spot, I've got Wisconsin over Northwestern. I don't know what to think about either of these teams. I just don't think Northwestern can move the ball at all. Like, ever. Like, at all. And then the 1 point slot, I've got Iowa over Illinois, because this is going to be the turning point for Iowa in this season. You go in the bye week losing 2 in a row. You come back from the bye. You go to Columbus and play the Buckeyes. You're going to lose the team after that. Sorry. Losing 3 in a row with you haven't won a game in over a month at that point. So they have to get this game. It's going to be a difficult game. As you mentioned, the point spreads and the way they're trending all over the place. I see it's trending in favor of Illinois, some in favor of Iowa. I don't think anybody knows what to make of this game.
So even with just those 6 games in what seems like a pretty meh week, there's a lot of variance there. Yep. So could look a lot different when we do this again at this time next week. Good stuff. Don't forget, watch us right here on the channel, both on Michigan Podcast and Bigger 10. Until next week, for Aaron McIntyre, I'm Steve Deace. We'll see you then.